What's your name?
Joe.
Joe?
Joe Baloney.
Joe Baloney who?
Joe Baloney, just Joe Baloney.
George and I met in the bookstore, and my dog Spot was off a leash, and he ran up to George and wouldn't come when I called him. So I said to myself, if George bends down to pet Spot, then I'll introduce myself. So I introduced myself, and we started talking. We talked for half an hour or so. The first date, I was hoping he'd be a one-night stand. That's what I tell people. But he showed up with a toaster oven in one hand and a pair of socks in the other. How many notes and cards and letters do I have from him, and poems and things? I could definitely fill this entire room that I'm sitting in right now. And he died 2 days short of our 10th anniversary. And so it was on a daily basis, so that's a lot of cards and letters and notes. We called each other Jupiterians because that's where we felt like we were from. And neither of us can remember where that originated from because it was always there in an odd sort of way. Most of the time, he called me Sal and I called him Gio. I only called him George when I was mad at him. So it's kind of strange for me to talk about him in public and call him George because then I feel like, you know, he must have done something wrong. The reason why George called me his spouse without papers is because he hated the term significant other. So we had to come up with our own language for what we were to each other and what we meant. And we just figured there was no real reason in getting married, although he did ask me at least once a week. So maybe he did think there was, he was a little more traditional than he seemed. But he would try to sneak it in if we were in a restaurant or writing a story together. He would be talking about, you know, the way that his salmon tasted and then ask, do you want to get married, in the next sentence without a segue. It wasn't like he got down on his hands and knees and begged.
Oh, you're a good girl. I know. You want to say, can you say Goofy? Say hi to Goofy. Come on. Oh, isn't that sweet? Hi, Goofy. Say hi, Gertrude. Hi, Gertrude. Gertrude says, I gotta go now. I got business downtown. I gotta go now. I got business downtown. Yeah. Oh, what a good... Lie down, Gert. Lie down, Gertie. Go lie down. Go lie down. Good girl. Well, okay. Wherever you like is good for me. Love you, Gertrude.
George was the sweetest man alive. He was the opposite of his dark, edgy, sarcastic, chauvinistic persona. It's not that I'm trying to blow holes in his tough guy persona. I'm just trying to add a little on to that. Just take it a level deeper and show you what that same person does and says when they're coming from the heart. Because he's even funnier. He's even more charming. And I wanted people to know the real George. You know, I know they have this image of him in their mind. He brought out something in me that I had never experienced before. And I did the same for him. And that's what I want to reveal in this book. The title of the book is the note that he left by my computer the day that he died. And I knew that he wanted me to use it as a title. The title is The Permanent Courtship of Sally Wade. It has a nice ring to it. But then they added the George Carlin letters, so they could sell the book. But or otherwise, no one would know who I was. So that was probably a good idea.
How long do these things last? That's your cue.
I don't know how to stop it.
Hit the same button you hit to start it.